Chapter 25. And it cometh to pass, in the 9th year of his reign, in the 10th month, in the 10th of the month, come hath Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon, he and all his force, against Jerusalem, and encampeth against it, and buildeth against it a fortification round about. And the city entereth into siege till the 11th year of King Zedekiah, on the 9th of the month, when the famine is severe in the city, and there hath not been bread for the people of the land. Then the city is broken up, and all the men of war go by night the way of the gate between the two walls that are by the garden of the king. And the Chaldeans are against the city round about, and the king goeth the way of the plain. And the force of the Chaldeans pursue after the king, and overtake him in the plains of Jericho, and all his force hath been scattered from him. And they seize the king, and bring him up unto the king of Babylon, to Riblah, and they speak with him judgment. And the sons of Zedekiah they have slaughtered before his eyes, and the eyes of Zedekiah he hath blinded, and bindeth him with brazen fetters, and they bring him to Babylon. And in the 5th month, on the 7th of the month, it is the 19th year of King Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon, hath Nebuzaradan chief of the executioners, servant of the king of Babylon, come to Jerusalem. And he burneth the house of Jehovah, and the house of the king, and all the houses of Jerusalem, yea, every great house he hath burned with fire. And the walls of Jerusalem round about have all the forces of the Chaldeans, who are with the chief of the executioners, broken down. And the rest of the people, those left in the city, and those falling who have fallen to the king of Babylon, and the rest of the multitude, hath Nebuzaradan chief of the executioners removed. And of the poor of the land hath the chief of the executioners left, for vine-dressers and for husbandmen. And the pillars of brass that are in the house of Jehovah, and the bases, and the sea of brass that is in the house of Jehovah, have the Chaldeans broken in pieces, and bear away their brass to Babylon. And the pots, and the shovels, and the snuffers, and the spoons, and all the vessels of brass with which they minister, they have taken. And the firepans, and the bowls that are wholly of silver, hath the chief of the executioners taken. The 2 pillars, the 1 sea, and the bases that Solomon made for the house of Jehovah, there was no weighing of the brass of all these vessels. 18 cubits is the height of the 1 pillar, and the chapiter on it is of brass. And the height of the chapiter is 3 cubits, and the net and the pomegranates are on the chapiter round about. The whole is of brass, and like these hath the 2nd pillar with the net. And the chief of the executioners taketh Seraiah the head priest, and Zephaniah the 2nd priest, and the 3 keepers of the threshold. And out of the city he hath taken a certain eunuch who is appointed over the men of war, and 5 men of those seeing the king's face who have been found in the city, and the head scribe of the host, who mustereth the people of the land, and 60 men of the people of the land who are found in the city. And Nebuzaradan chief of the executioners taketh them, and causeth them to go unto the king of Babylon to Libnah. And the king of Babylon smiteth them, and putteth them to death in Riblah, in the land of Hamath, and he removeth Judah from off its land. And the people that is left in the land of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon hath left, he appointeth over them Gedaliah son of Ahikam son of Shaphan. And all the heads of the forces hear, they and the men, that the king of Babylon hath appointed Gedaliah, and they come in unto Gedaliah to Mizpah, even Ishmael son of Nethaniah, and Johanan son of Kareah, and Seraiah son of Tanhumeth the Netophathite, and Jaazaniah son of the Maacathite, they and their men. And Gedaliah sweareth to them and to their men, and saith to them, Be not afraid of the servants of the Chaldeans. Dwell in the land, and serve the king of Babylon, and it is good for you. And it cometh to pass in the 7th month, come hath Ishmael son of Nethaniah, son of Elishama of the seed of the kingdom, and 10 men with him, and they smite Gedaliah, and he dieth, and the Jews and the Chaldeans who have been with him in Mizpah. And all the people rise, from small even unto great, and the heads of the forces, and come into Egypt, for they have been afraid of the presence of the Chaldeans. And it cometh to pass in the 37th year of the removal of Jehoiakim king of Judah, in the 12th month, in the 27th of the month, hath Evel-merodach king of Babylon lifted up, in the year of his reigning, the head of Jehoiakim king of Judah out of the house of restraint, and speaketh with him good things, and putteth his throne above the throne of the kings who are with him in Babylon, and hath changed the garments of his restraint, and he hath eaten bread continually before him all days of his life. And his allowance, a continual allowance, hath been given to him from the king, the matter of a day in its day, all days of his life.